Let's start with a little story. Picture this. You've got an evangelist talking to a group of people who are, you can tell they're starving. At the exact same time, just down the road, there's a doctor in a clinic with a patient who's just completely lost, spiritually broken. So what happens when our mission, our desire to help, gets sliced right down the middle like that? Is it even possible to care for the body without the soul, or the soul without the body? We're going to explore that. So first, let's go back to that evangelist. He's looking at these hungry people, and he tells them, look, forget your body. Your soul is what really matters here. His focus is 100% on the spiritual, on salvation, because for a lot of people, that's the only thing that matters in the long run, right? And then you have the doctor. He's on the complete opposite end of the spectrum. He tells his patient, listen, your soul, I can't help you with that. Your body is all I can treat. So this is a mission that's all about humanitarian aid, fixing the physical problems you can see and touch. So yeah, what is wrong with this picture? Well, in both of these cases, a person is being treated like they're two separate things. You've got one person working on the soul, another working on the body, but nobody is helping the whole person. And this isn't just some made-up scenario, it's a real tough conflict that a lot of people in ministry face every single day. A lot of this conflict boils down to two huge commands in the Bible that can seem like they're pulling in totally opposite directions. It's this powerful tension between what we call the Great Commission and the Great Mandate. And this slide really gets right to the heart of the dilemma, doesn't it? On one side, you have the Great Commission. Go and make disciples. It's all about spiritual salvation, teaching people. But on the other side, you've got the Great Mandate. I was hungry and you fed me. This is about tangible acts of mercy. For people on the mission field, this can feel like an impossible choice. Is it bread or is it the gospel? And the argument for focusing on the spiritual side is, well, it's really compelling. The logic is pretty straightforward. If someone's eternal destiny is on the line, what good is a loaf of bread that's gone tomorrow? Shouldn't every single bit of our energy be focused on saving souls? But then, the flip side is just as powerful. If a person is literally dying of hunger, if they're in agonizing pain, how on earth are they supposed to hear a spiritual message? Their immediate needs are just overwhelming. So don't we have to deal with that suffering first?
So how do we solve this? How do we get out of this tug of war? Well, the answer isn't about picking a side. It's about looking at Jesus' own example. What did he do? And when you look at how he operated, it's crystal clear. The scripture says he went around teaching and proclaiming the good news and healing every disease. For Jesus, there was no split. It was all one thing. He always cared for the whole person, every single time. And you know what? He expected the exact same thing from his disciples. When he sent them out, his instructions weren't go proclaim or go heal. It was proclaim and heal. The two were always meant to be tied together, part of the same job. And really, it all comes back to this one core idea. Love your neighbor as yourself. Now think about that. When it comes to your own life, do you only care about your soul or only your body? Of course not. You care about all of it. So truly loving our neighbor has to mean caring for their complete well-being too, body and soul. Okay, so this model, this integrated strategy that's based on how Jesus did things, it has a name. It's called the holistic approach. And it's so important to get this. It isn't a compromise. It's a completely unified way of doing things. So what is a holistic mission? It's not about tacking on some charity work to your evangelism. No, it's an integrated strategy that goes for the total transformation of people and their communities. It sees spiritual and physical needs as completely connected, not separate problems. And this is exactly what Jesus laid out when he announced his own mission. He said he came to bring good news to the poor, freedom for prisoners, sight for the blind, and to set the oppressed free. See, it covers everything: economic, social, physical, and spiritual brokenness. All of it. And this just completely reframes the whole goal of mission. It's not just about getting someone to make a decision. The end game is so much bigger. It's about being a part of restoring a broken world, piece by piece, just like Jesus started. So if that's the model, what's the real measure of success? What's the standard we're supposed to be aiming for? Well, Jesus makes the standard incredibly clear. He literally says that when we care for the hungry, the thirsty, the sick, we are caring for him. The true standard isn't about how many converts you have or how good your theology is. It's about real, compassionate action.
It's so powerful when you think about it. He never said, when I was hungry, you preached a really great sermon at me, or when I was thirsty, you explained some doctrine. No, he taught something so simple. Respond to what people actually need right where they are. Meeting that physical need isn't a distraction from the gospel. It is the gospel, just in action. And that all leads to this final question, the one we really have to ask ourselves. And it doesn't matter if we're talking about some huge global strategy or just how we help the person living next door. Is our mission meeting the whole need? Are we really loving our neighbor as ourselves, caring for body and soul as one single indivisible calling?